Okay, so this is going to be a video over the first part of section 4D, and we're going to talk about loans, credit cards, and mortgages in this section. And I hope that you don't ever have to take out a loan, but when you do, you need to be educated about the decision you're making about what you're going to have to pay for that. So to calculate your payment, you would take your principal times your APR, your annual percentage rate, and divide it by the number of terms that are happening in the year over 1 minus 1 plus your APR, annual percentage rate, over the number of times it's happening per year, okay, raised to negative n, which is the number of times it's happening per year, times the number of years you're taking out the loan, okay, which seems like a lot of stuff. So what does this stuff stand for? This is your regular payment amount okay, P is your principal, and we talked about that that's just your starting balance, what you're taking out in the beginning. Okay, we've talked about this term before. APR is your annual percentage rate. N, talked about this before, is a number of payments per year. And Y is going to be the loan term in years. Okay. So we've got some terms that I want to introduce. I'm going to pause the camera and I'm going to go ahead and write down these definitions for you right here. And then you may want to pause the video so that you can write them down. Okay, so the loan term is the time you have to pay back the loan in full. Your installment loan is the loan you pay off in equal regular payments. A mortgage is an installment loan designed specifically to finance the purchase of a home. A down payment is the amount of money you must pay up front in order to be given a mortgage or another loan. Your closing costs are the fees. Your closing costs are the fees you must pay in order to be given the loan. And an adjustable rate mortgage is the interest rate, is a mortgage that you're going to get where the interest rate you pay changes whenever prevailing rates change. You can also get a fixed rate mortgage where the interest would stay the same. If you want to pause this video and write these down, that would be good. I'm going to go on to the first example. And so it says, suppose you have a student loan totaling $7,500. And when you graduate from college, you owe this $7,500. The interest rate is, or the annual percentage rate is 9%, and the loan is in 10 years. What are your monthly payments? So basically you have 10 years to pay off this loan. So the formula for the payment of the loan, we're getting from up here. I'll just write it again down here so that you can compare. But we know that the payment is equal to the principal times our annual percentage rate over the number of times it happens per year, and then On the bottom, we've got 1 minus 1 plus, which you think those would cancel, but remember in order of operations, you have to do what's inside the parentheses first. So this is not just 1, it's 1 plus the APR divided by the number of times it happens per year. And then you would do your exponent next. So all of that stuff kind of goes together. So when we're calculating this, okay, we would have, well, we're borrowing $7,500. That's how much we took out for our student loans, okay? And we want to multiply that by our APR. And remember that I've said multiple times, you don't put the percent, you put the decimal. So you would need to do 9 divided by 100 and change that to a decimal, 0.09. So we would put 0.09, that's our APR, and over 12, because they said that we're making monthly payments. So the number of times it's going to happen per year, we're going to make monthly payments, so we're going to pay 12 times a year. Okay, and on the bottom, we have 1 minus 1 plus our APR, right? I'm following this formula, over 12, raised to the negative 12 times however many years this is going to take, and I've got 10. It says I've got 10 years to pay off that loan. Please don't try to type all this in your calculator at once. Break it down a little bit. So I would do 7,500. I would go ahead and figure out, well, what is 0.09 divided by 12? So I could have that as one number, and it's 0.0075. Okay. Then on the bottom, I would look and say, well, what can I figure out down here? And your calculator could probably handle what's inside these parentheses right here. I already know that this is 0.0075 because I calculated it up here, and I know that I could figure out what negative 12 times 10 is, which is negative 120. Okay, so I'm kind of breaking it down a little bit. If I multiply this on the top, I've got 5625. On the bottom, if I go ahead and take care of my 1 plus 0.0075 raised to the negative 120 power, I'm going to get, and here's the deal, you want to try to leave this, instead of writing everything that's on the calculator screen, I'm just trying to make sure I do a good job explaining, but at this point, you want to try to leave as much of this saved on your screen, on your calculator screen, so you can say 1 minus the answer of that. But when I divide these two things, okay, I'm getting $95.01. So that's how I would calculate my monthly payments. If I took out $7,500, I got to pay that back over 10 years with an interest rate of 9%. So how much will I pay over the lifetime of this loan? Well, I've got to pay on this loan for 10 years. And there are 12 months in 1 year, and I've got to pay $95.01 every month. Okay, so my years would cancel out, my months would cancel out. I'm going to be left with dollars, so I need to do 10 times 12 times 95.01. That's going to get me $11,401.20. So for my $7,500, I'm going to end up paying over $11,000 for that. So what is the total interest you would pay on your loan? You're going to take your $11,401.20 and subtract off what you actually took out, which was $7,500, and that's going to be $3,901.20. Okay. So in the first 3 months, what will you pay on principal? So we need to take into account a couple of things. We know that our monthly interest rate, our APR, we can calculate our monthly interest rate by taking our APR and dividing it by 12. So 0.09 divided by 12 is 0.0075. Okay, so what we know is that we can, from that, I'm going to come down here and make a little table to kind of organize this a little bit for you. But we've got the end of month 1. So we're going to talk about, because we've got 3 months here, and I'm just going to kind of break this down a little bit easier so you can understand. So at the end of this month, on month 1, we're going to pay 0.0075 times the amount we owed, which was $7,500. When you multiply those two things, you're going to get $56.25. Okay. Now, not all of that is going to go towards our payment. I mean, it's going to go towards our interest payment, okay, or towards our payment. Remember that our bill was from up here at the beginning when we calculated the monthly payment. We got $95.01. So not all of that is going to go towards that $7,500. So really we've got our $95.01, and we're going to subtract off the interest because that doesn't go towards our payment. So really we're only paying up on the $7,500. We're really only paying $38.76 for that. Okay, so now, so this is the payment towards the principal. Okay, now what we have is our new principal, because we have managed to pay some of it down. Okay, we started out with $7,500, and we're able to subtract off this $38.76. So now we have a new principal of $7,461.24. Okay, now going into month 2, we still have this interest payment of 0.0075 that we're going to make, but now we don't owe $7,500. We only owe $7,461.24. So when we do that calculation, we're at $55.96. Our payment is still $95.01, but we put a dent in our interest. So the actual amount that we paid to bring down the $7,500, or the $74.61.24, is $39.05. Now, I'm going to take this payment that I had right here and subtract that off, and that would tell me my new payment of what I owe now is $7,422.19. Well, going into month 3, I don't owe $7,500. I owe this now, so I would multiply those two. Okay, that's getting me $55.67. My payment's still $95.01, but I'm going to subtract my $55.67, and I'm making a dent in my payment of $39.34, which I want to subtract off of that, which is going to be, we're going to take that $39.34 off of this, and now I only owe $7,382.85. Okay, so to go back to this first question, it says, up here it says in the first 3 months, what will you pay on the principal? Well, we would need to take our $7,500 and subtract off what we actually, so $7,382.85. And that would tell us what we actually owe on our principal. So we really only paid $117.15 toward our principal, even though we were paying the $95.01 a month. We're only paying this much towards our principal. So there's the answer to that. In the first 3 months, what will you pay on interest? Okay, this is the amount. These are the amounts that we paid on interest right here. $56.25, $55.96, $55.67. So if we take those and we add those together, that gets us $167.88 on interest. Okay, we'll be picking up with the second part of this section in the next video.